what kind of connections do you like to make?
I've had the good fortune of having a lot of external facing roles.
What was the pivotal moment where you thought, I need to build a community now?
A lot of people might identify as serial marketers. I'm good if I'm like a pretty good connector, you know?
Hey, this is Mike from IntroStars, and today we're super excited to bring you a brand new episode of the Super Connectors podcast in New York with a very special VIP guest, David Berkowitz, who had the AI Marketers Guild to get to tell us all about him being the ultimate super connector for marketing folks. Hey, David, so cool to have you on the show.
Great to be here, Mike. Thank you.
So, David, tell us, what does it mean for you to be a super connector?
Well, I mean that's a high bar to set. You know, I'm good if I'm like a pretty good connector. You know, pretty good, but it just means like just being able to make the world a little bit smaller, which I think is something that we all need these days.
Yeah, so what kind of introductions do you make on a typical day-to-day basis in your day-to-day job? How do you connect people? What kind of connections do you like to make?
Well, I like to make connections that matter, right? And that's what we all want. Who are those people who wouldn't have met otherwise? And just how do you bring a lot of the right people in the room and so that they can learn from each other? You know, often it's not a transactional need, but sure enough, sometimes it is. And so it's
Is it more like marketing people, sales people, startup founders?
I deal a lot in the marketing realm. And so connecting marketers, brands, agencies, startups, other players like marketing tech, ad tech, way deeper these days at those that are doing really exciting work in the AI space.
So when did you start making lots and lots of introductions? Was there like a pivotal moment in your career where you start to make more and more introductions on a regular basis until you start to think consciously about, hey, I'm being a connector here. I'm connecting so many people. Was there a slow evolution or was that like a pivotal moment for you?
Well, I mean, I've had the good fortune of having a lot of external facing roles at different companies where I was. So I always got to be the one who was like a little more just out and about and just getting to meet a lot of different people. I had to interview folks for newsletters and things like that early on. And so I got to build, a version of essentially my personal university and just meet people from some different walks of life. And so then later it became more natural to connect with people with each other. A big turning point was a move 7 years ago where I had this opportunity that I'd thought about for years earlier of starting my own community, and that was serial marketers. And so that was when I became a guy who happens to connect people to someone who now has a forum to really accelerate that.
And what was the pivotal moment where we thought, I need to build a community now, I want to build this community and grow it and bring people together. And obviously now you run the AI Marketers Guild, another amazing big community. So obviously you become a community leader, a community builder, and which is also being a super connector. So how did these things happen?
Well, the first one was kind of ridiculous. And it's one of those things that like you can't really advise others, but it came up because of the name. And especially you're here in New York. David Berkowitz is a famous, really an infamous name here. So I don't come up too well in the Google or AI results. But I started my consulting business under the serial marketer name, almost as a joke. But I had to, just a reminder not to take myself too seriously. As soon as I did, I was like, well, a lot of people might identify as serial marketers. The term serial entrepreneur was being widely used then.
Yep.
There were next to no Google search results for serial marketer. So I hesitated a bit, really for a couple of years between the two, because I was like, well, I don't want to just do some vanity project or anything, but I'm like, you know what? I'm not really seeing a great place for serial marketers to get together. Why not? Let's start this thing.
Was it only online or did you have like in-person events as well? Was it a mix of both? How did it work?
Well, it started online, and my communities for years they've used Slack as an important channel, email just as a way, like email newsletters for members to keep track of what's been said in the community. If you're not in Slack, we host monthly networking events in person. There's this happy hour series first Wednesday. Glad you'll be able to join us for this one. And so through Marketers Guild also, we've had different ways to bring startups together, connect them with marketers. And so I think in person is so important, but look, like the power of the web from the start is you can bring people together anywhere and everywhere, and location doesn't have to matter. And to me, there's a lot of power in that too.
Yeah, and so all the people who are joining your Marketers Guild, are most of them looking to receive or make introductions? Is that part of it? Is that part of the appeal to join a community, is getting great introductions or making introductions for others as well to build your personal brand?
One thing I've discovered a lot through the kind of work that I've done that doesn't just involve community building, but often involves education as well, is that there's a psychographic more than say like a demographic or the exact title and role, right? Like someone who does love learning, someone who's really curious, but also likes learning from others and sharing what they've learned with others, and wants to be a little bit more out there, wants to take advantage of forums like this, where someone who has some really smart Slack post, for instance, or shares something on a comment during a Zoom call, you can then go and reach out to them and ask them something. And yes, if you have something relevant to offer, great. Like, I love nothing more than when people are doing business through the community.
Of course. Because you brought them together thanks to your communities.
Well,
So,
and that's one of those great effects of it, right?
Yeah.
Where I also realized after maybe even a couple of years of running Serial Marketers that most of the conversations in the community were happening over direct message. And that meant that I was totally unaware. I can't see into that.
so you create lots of value without even knowing it. So you just create this
Exactly.
snowball effect, right?
Yeah, and some of it is I wouldn't find out about. I mean, sometimes I'll probably never know about some of the value I'm creating. But when I'd hear bits and pieces, often days, weeks, months later, that something happened because they met through the community, it was like there's a downside to it, which means that you don't always know about it. But there's that
Because it's not tracked, right? There's no tracking mechanism, et cetera. Yeah.
Right. But the upside is realizing, like, having enough anecdotal evidence to know that there's always way more value that creating than I can ever realize. And to me, that's actually a great reason to just get up every day and keep at this.
So when you look at tools like intro stars, which can actually track every introduction you make and receive, is a real tracking mechanism. You can actually see the value of every introduction people make in your community or yourself. How do you think that changes the game for introducers, people receiving introductions, for yourself and your community, but also people outside who want to become super connectors? How do you think that makes a difference?
Well, what you're adding with transparency is really helpful here, and none of that guesswork, because there are definitely some times where I've made intros and, like, I know some business happened, like they don't even want to take me to dinner or something. They're right here in the city, right? And then there are times also where I'm pleasantly surprised and I'm like, well, I didn't even know that led to something in the first place, and someone's asking, like, I want to do something for you. Here's what I'm going to do. Just tell me where to send this, or something like that. And that means a ton. Now, having everyone on this level playing field here and just knowing flat out that you're going to get something out of this if this hits, and, like, this is just how valuable it probably is to the person you're making an intro for, that can even help you prioritize something in the first place. So yeah, having that level setting can go a very long way.
Yeah. And so how do you plan on growing your community to inspire more people to join as super connectors, as networkers? How do you bring people into that community and encourage them to make more introductions?
Well, part of it is, I think it's just so important to get people from that lurker stage to just at least starting to be a joiner, right? Like, you don't even have to be like the biggest, giver and connector and all of that. But once you start getting in the room, and we do these weekly Zoom calls, and I call them community conversations, not webinars, because they're extremely participatory.
Yeah.
And I always tell our special guests, I'm like, don't talk too much. Like the community's going to have questions for you, and they do. But once you start getting there and start interacting with folks and start to go and realize, like, okay, these are the people you're surrounded by. I mean, it's probably 100 times more powerful than if you're just having like a Slack exchange or you're seeing something in the newsletter. And then when you actually go and get that in-person effect, which can't always do, and we can't always get together in the same place and time, but there's so much more magic that happens. So it's just trying to get more people into that. Yeah, it's like not a transactional funnel, but it's a relationship funnel.
Yeah. And it's all about relationships. At the end of the day, everything in life is about relationships, whether it's your personal life, whether it's your business life, whether it's your personal brand, and your success is all due to your personal relationships. So, I love what you're doing with your community, growing the community, encouraging people to get together and help each other. Community building is really the key to all of this, right? And so you're really at the forefront of that. So that's really cool.
Well, I appreciate it. And it's just something that I love doing. I love being part of the Marketecture media umbrella, where I brought my communities into the fold there. There's really nothing I love more than when I hear of just these successful connections that have been made through the community, whether I had something to do with it or not.
Yeah, I think it's in human nature to just love to connect people and see success stories out of that. Everyone loves to connect people and hear that people are happy and successful thanks to that. So great. So what are you working on right now? Where can people follow you?
Well, first of all, any of your listeners, viewers are welcome to join the Marketers Guild at ammarketersguild.com. And I'm doing a lot of consulting myself, and also also more and more speaking about that intersection of AI and marketing. And so I've been doing this through a new brand I created, High Caliber AI, highcaliberai.com, and finding me on LinkedIn, D Berkowitz. Pretty easy to find.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, David. Really enjoyed our conversation.
Thank you.
Thanks again for all the community work you're doing, bring people together. It's magical. And I hope to see you very soon at some really cool networking events. Thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.